Hi everybody, today is another Casserole Thursday and we're going to be making a tuna casserole. This serves 4 to 6 people. It can be prepped in 20 to 25 minutes, 35 minutes in the oven, and it's ready to serve. It can also be made ahead of time. And look, this is what we're going to be making today. Let's get started. Before we can put our casserole together, we need to cook a couple of our ingredients. And the first ingredient that I'm going to prepare is my noodles or my pasta. I'm using just regular elbow macaroni. I have a cup and a half, and I'm going to cook this according to the directions on the back of the package. So I'll go ahead and do that. The second ingredient is a half a cup of onions, chopped onions. And I'm just using white onions today, and I'm going to place 2 tablespoons of butter in this little saucepan with the onions, and I will saute those. Once our pasta gets done and our onions are sauteed, then we'll put our casserole together. We'll add the other ingredients, put it together, put it in a baking dish, and put it in the oven. Our pasta is done. I have drained it and placed it in this bowl. Now I'm going to add our sauteed onions. You can see the butter in it. This is going to give it flavor. So we're just adding our onions. That's 1/2 cup of chopped onions. To that, we're going to add 1 can of cream of celery soup. 1 can of cream of celery soup. You could use cream of mushroom if you wanted to. Go ahead and give that a stir. Next, we're adding 1/2 cup of whole milk. 1/2 cup whole milk. Just stirring that around. I'm not going to be adding any salt to our tuna casserole. The tuna has sodium in it. The soup has sodium in it. So I won't be adding additional salt. That can be added at the table. However, I am going to add some white pepper. So I'm just going to sprinkle in some white pepper, maybe a couple of teaspoons of white pepper. Next, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of chopped pimento. And I just got that in the jar and I drained it. Next, I'm adding peas and carrots. This is an 8.5 ounce of peas and carrots, and I drained that. If you don't care for carrots, then you could just add the peas. If you don't care for peas, you could add carrots. If you don't care for either, then you just leave it out. And last, we're going to add our tuna. This is a 9 ounce can of light chunk white tuna, and this is in water, and I have drained it. So we're just going to be adding our tuna. This tuna casserole can be made, prepared, and ready to go in the oven, I would say, in 25 minutes. It just doesn't get any quicker or easier or better than that. I'm going to swap off and get my spoon and give this a good stir. This is a pretty dish. It's going to be tasteful. It's going to be delicious. I've preheated our oven to 350 degrees. I have sprayed my baking dish. I'm using, I believe this is a 2-quart baking dish that I have here. So now we're just ready to transfer our casserole, our mixture, into our baking dish. So we're just going to pour it in like that. y'all. This is going to be so, so good. Look how good that already looks. Now, we'll bake this for probably 35 minutes, just uncovered until it gets hot through and through. Once it gets hot through and through, then I'm going to top it with some cheese. Remember, I like to put my cheese on my casseroles after they bake so that the cheese doesn't get too crusty. Now, you could use some round buttery crackers, crush those and put those on top if you wanted to. Or if you wanted to use potato chips, you could crush some potato chips and sprinkle those on top as well. So let's put this in the oven. When it gets done, we'll take a look at it. Our tuna casserole was in the oven for 35 minutes. It has just come out. It's hot. And so now we're going to top it with our cheese. When you put the cheese on immediately, when it comes out of the oven, it melts and it is so, so delicious. So I'm using about a cup of cheese. You don't have to use that much if you don't want to. You can use less, you can use more, whatever your heart's desire is. So now we're going to let this rest for about 15 minutes before serving. Our casserole is ready to serve, so let's just get some out. It's gonna be good, y'all. Look at that. Look, it's got all the carrots and the peas and the tuna. I'm gonna get a little bit more. The cheese on top. It's gonna be good. I can't wait to taste it. Okay, it's my favorite time of the show. That's what some of you call it, my show. I love you and I appreciate that. So now let's taste this tuna casserole. If you love tuna, then you're going to enjoy this casserole. I hope you'll make it. I hope you'll share it with your friends, with your family. You could take this to a gathering and it will be delicious. For those of you who can have more sodium, you'll probably want to put a little bit more salt on it. Thank you for watching today. As always, don't forget to share our videos. And I love you and appreciate you so much. I'll see you again really, really soon.